Welcome to Malcolm Reed's How to Barbecue Right, a podcast where we talk about barbecue, share recipes, and discuss all things delicious. And now, here's your host, Malcolm and Rochelle Reed.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Barbecue Right Podcast. I'm your host, Malcolm Reed, joined by my lovely, talented wife right across from me, Miss Southern Shell. And we got Tyler over here on the side running the boards and doing the camera angles and all that. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Awesome. Mouthful, wasn't it?
Had that.
Getting it cranked up.
Like you practiced that.
I like this. Tyler, you've been working on this setup in here, man. You got me lit up today. I'm looking daggum good. Look at me.
I wish I could take all the credit. Shell painted.
You got a
walls.
ring light. I like how you're shooting this camera through a ring light. That's pretty slick. It puts the light right on me instead of coming from above.
Yeah. It was
You got another angle over here. I don't know. I feel like all kinds of cameras in here today.
We're slowly improving our podcast room.
Trying to.
We've
Show you painted the walls behind
painted
us.
the walls. We got some stickers coming, some plants to really tie the room together.
All we need is a rug. We do need a rug in here.
Probably.
You
Yeah,
gotta have
probably.
a rug to fix the sound.
I
I hope it's sounding good. And like I got brand new earbuds. Last week I was in the blind. I couldn't hear anything. It is so weird for me to do a podcast without some kind of ears.
Yeah.
Like you got to have some buds. You got to have a set of earphones.
It feels
What do you call them? Is it
weird.
headset or
Yeah.
earphones? Earphones, I
Earbuds.
guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
we used to use, and that's what Tyler's got on over there. We need a camera on you. That's the next goal, Tyler.
Got to clean everything up
Yeah.
first. Y'all can't see what's not on camera yet. So
We are not sound or lighting engineers by any means, but Tyler has got a crash course on it. I think he's been stressed out.
I have a YouTube degree now.
Yeah.
In lighting
Yeah,
and
yeah.
in sound. So
How to run a Behringer board. But it's working. It looks good.
We're slowly getting there. We always just kind of stumble our way forward.
Yeah.
We never know.
You've even got the blue plate sign right there in frame. I
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
too.
Got to
The
represent.
classic. Quality since 1927.
Real quick, I wanted to talk about the Palmer Home.
Oh, yes.
We're doing a fundraiser to feed a family for the Palmer Home. The Palmer Home is an organization that helps children who are in difficult situations stay out of the foster care system. They provide a home with a mom and a dad for these kids, and sometimes it's up to 5 to 6 kids in each of these homes. And
Oh, it's like 8.
well, including the parents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's 8 including the
Yeah.
parents.
Okay.
So we are working to raise enough money that we can feed one family for the entire year.
For a year.
Yeah. Last year we were lucky enough to feed 2, so fingers
Hopefully
crossed.
this year. And we're also doing something for people helping us out for this. The person that kind of helps donate the most money or raise the most money for it's going to win brand new barbecue grill, an Outlaw smoker.
$5,000
With a
grill.
patio. Yeah. It's probably more than that now. Those things go up.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's a patio, the patio model. Y'all seen me cook videos on them. It's a cooking machine. But not only are you going to get a patio smoker, you're going to get to come here and just watch it and learn how to cook on it, have a good time, hang out with us. Who knows what we're going to do? Probably
We're going to learn how to cook.
Yeah, it's not just
on
about
a-
cooking barbecue on it and you're coming here. There's a whole experience to it. We're probably going to have to go to La Siesta. We're probably going to have to go to the smokehouse and hang out. We might go shoot some stuff. You never know. Depends on what time of year is that?
Let
gonna
me
be.
walk this back.
He keeps every week I keep talking about it. It keeps getting more and more. There's going to be a limo. George Strait's coming.
If you're interested in helping us raise money for the Palmer Home, go to HowToBBQRight /Palmer, PALMER.
If you need me to talk it up, I'll be the hype guy. Maybe somebody making noises behind me.
I cannot guarantee that you will win any of the stuff Malcolm said. We will.
But some of it.
We will have a good time.
Some of it.
Yes,
And we
we
will have a
always
good
do.
time.
We always
How
do.
could you not? There's enough Miller Lite and Fireball to have a good time. I promise you. It's up to you if you partake, I guess. You can watch us. maybe that's an angle we take. Come watch us. Get smashed.
sometimes that's more fun.
It is. Yeah, I guess it can be.
No.
No, it's not to you. Not to you. Or maybe to you, not to me.
That's what I tell myself. All right.
So what else is going on, Shell?
We're also running a Between the Buns contest in our Facebook community.
I'm a little nervous about what you're going to get on that one. You start talking. Y'all are at your own risk. I didn't come up with that idea.
So the whole idea is that if you're in part of the Facebook community, you can submit a photo of the best recipe you did between the buns. Burgers, dogs, tacos, sliders.
Basically, any kind
gyros.
of sandwich, pretty much. Does a wrap? That's not a bun, so does it have to go?
I mean, we're saying that the wraps
count?
tacos, that stuff counts.
You can't just throw stuff in there like
I knew
that.
you were
Count
gonna
a
say-
taco.
I knew you were going
Now,
to say something.
a torta, that's a sandwich.
That's
I
true.
knew you were going to have a problem.
But how are you going to make a taco? You can't put a taco between. There's nothing about a bun and taco. That's
Okay.
two totally different parts.
Between the bread contest.
There you go. I guess that'll
I
work.
knew. I was like, he's going to say something about
About
that.
if you start adding all this, you just want to include everything.
It's just a fun contest.
Yeah, I got you.
But I will say, so I've seen a bunch of like pretty incredible between the buns.
So it's
recipes.
already running live in the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are already posting stuff.
Yeah.
I've been busy. I hadn't been
Oh,
up there.
what are we giving away, Tyler? Like a pretty good gift pack.
Yeah, so there's like the top 5 places, I believe. I know first place gets a $150 HowToBBQRight gift card, and then we threw in a $50 Butcher Shop gift card that we had for Pensacola, and then Malcom seasoning pack. So that's like all the
Prizes. The one person that's like number one prize, or is that going to be spread out over
No,
the
that's
best
number
3?
one.
That's just number one. Yeah, if you get the most
and then it
likes,
kind of goes down from
Yeah.
there.
And all you got to do is what, Tyler?
all you got to do is go to the comment section of that post that's pinned to the top of the Let's Get to Cooking community, and comment down below a picture of whatever you consider your best creation between the buns.
So
It's got to be a picture that you took.
Yeah,
I mean,
gotta
I
be-
guess you could
yeah.
steal it if
And
you
then-
wanted to.
and then
I made this delicious hot dog.
Yeah, there was several hot dogs.
And
hot
then-
dogs are good. That straight up qualifies
Yeah.
for between the buns. It's immediately what I thought of, like a chili
Sure
dog.
it
Sure it is. I didn't think of taco, but
Anyway, so then all you got to do after that is go down below and just vote on other people's stuff. I've seen people inviting their friends and family in the group, trying to
Try
get
to
them
get
to come
invited.
vote on it
Yeah.
and
Hey,
stuff like
that's
that.
cool.
So
you can vote for other people's stuff. I guess you can vote for yours too.
Yeah.
anything goes. And then the person with the most likes wins, and then it fluctuates down below that.
Cool.
I saw one. It was a tri-tip sandwich. So they'd cooked a tri-tip. It's kind of still rare, whatever. Sliced it thin, and then they had it on a ciabatta bun with sautéed spinach, sautéed mushrooms and onions, a fresh chimichurri, and a garlic aioli. It looks
That's delicious.
delicious.
That's pretty damn close to the recipe I just did.
It is kind of. You didn't do
bet.
the chimichurri,
No. But
and
I
you didn't
did
do a
sauce.
garlic aioli, but you did a spicy.
It was like
an adobe.
it was like a
mayo.
chili mayo, chipotle mayo,
Yeah.
but I topped it with the beer cheese sauce. But it wasn't tri-tip. I used strip steak.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about that next week. That video hasn't been edited yet, has it?
Mm-mm. We just
Hopefully
did
it'll
it.
release next week though.
Yeah.
Is it a YouTube or is it a? Yeah, it
It's a
was. It's going to be on YouTube.
So I also saw this. Somebody did a pork butt. They did a pork butt, did all Greek seasonings, like seasoned it and marinated it with Greek flavors.
Yes.
And then they pulled it and made like a gyro sandwich with it, with tzatziki sauce.
Oh, that's so good.
I know. I thought that was such a good idea.
I got to try that.
I know. You could do.
So pulled pork for your Did
Instead
they put
of
it on?
using-
Did they put it on a bun?
They put it on a potato bun, but I want it
Yeah.
on the
Pita.
pita.
Yeah. We're doing
I
that.
thought so too. That's a
I've gotta
great
try
idea.
that. A
Taking
Greek style pork butt. I don't think I've ever done
I
that.
know, but I could see it going so
Yeah.
well together. Instead of using, what do they call the meat they use on gyros?
I don't know.
Shawarma.
I thought it was like a mix of lamb and beef mostly, or it's like
Typically cooked on the spit.
when I
and they
say it,
slice
it's almost looks like some kind of minced meat or some kind of way ground meat that they form into like a cone,
Mhm.
and it goes on one of those vertical roasters, and they slice it off, and it's a mixture of like lamb and beef, I would
Yeah.
imagine.
I've been wanting you to do
Yeah.
that
A
style.
version of that.
Yeah. Where
I've never done that like that.
You've got a new rotisserie on your new.
Yeah, on that ceramic, on that Primo.
Yeah, that Primo grill.
It's got a ceramic. I don't know how. I mean, I wouldn't want to use the ground, but I could definitely. Man, so what I'm thinking, bear with me, boneless pork butt,
Mm-hmm.
marinated all up and seasoned with the Hero.
You slice it first, or
No.
Okay.
I was just going to put it on there on that spit and rotate. So you will have to, like, you got to cook it done, but you don't have to cook it to where it's like pulling apart.
So what tempo are we talking?
I mean, I'm gonna take it up to
170?
about probably
140?
I was thinking 175, 180, 185,
Okay.
something like that. I mean, you want the fat render. You want to render the fat all you can. You just don't have to. And I guess it depends on the outside. I don't know. This is just speculating. I've never tried this.
Yeah.
But it's like spit roasted pork, basically Greek style. And then when you slice it, you just slice it off thin. Just like you're not trying to chop it up or anything like that. It'll be all from the outside. So at first you're gonna get layers of seasoning, but I guess you could like keep it rolling, like cut it off as you like take your pan up there and stop the spit and slice a little bit of it off
Yeah.
and then let it re-season it and let it keep rolling. That's something to play with there.
I almost feel like you would need smaller, like take a boneless pork butt and cut it into maybe 4 chunks.
Do smaller. So I have seen people
so
do
you
them.
get more surface area.
Like, so you've seen them do where they'll take like a pineapple
yeah.
and put some skewers in it and then take like a pork butt or something or pork loin and slice super thin and marinate it and they just stack it all up on it
Yeah.
and they cook it that way. I've seen that before and they slice it off and it kind of makes like pastor style. So it's more of that Mexican, style, but you could do that with Greek, you could do that with
Yeah.
Greek flavors too. Give
The
you
way
that.
I've seen it is they take the meat and cut it really thin and marinate it and then stack it all together.
How do you get it
and
to stay
rotate.
like on the spit? Like if you're laying it sideways on a rotisserie, it's
know.
always going to be fighting against gravity. I don't know if you could get it sandwiched enough to where it stayed.
without it just
Yeah, that's why I'm
falling
thinking
apart?
a whole roast
Yeah.
would do better.
I don't know how you would do it unless you just keep it upright and cook it the whole time that way.
Yeah, I mean you could do it that way.
Yeah. But
For sure.
it'd be hard to do rotisserie with sliced, wouldn't it?
Yep. I'm just thinking that rotisserie would give it good flavor because you're dripping over the coals and
Oh,
it's
definitely.
constantly rotating slow.
I'm just thinking that crust on the outside will be
I think that's gonna be the best part.
dang up.
That's why I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know if I want to cook it all the way to like 180 or because it's going to get so much crust on the outside, but you want to keep getting that crust going.
Mhm.
So maybe as you cook it a few hours and it's like at least over, 145, 150, you start cutting off that outside edge and just keep letting it rotate. Eventually you'd end up with just a little bit of meat on a spigot.
Yeah.
The goal would be
Which
to
is-
eat that outside. I don't know. I might try it both ways. Like cook one done, see how bad it is. Once you get it all shaved up, it would be, you could mix it all together and you're going to get some crunchy,
Yeah.
some inside,
Yeah.
lean or whatever.
And I like the idea of undercooking it just a touch. Well, for pulling, undercooking it for pulling, so it
Yeah.
has a slice consistency.
Yeah, and it's
More
kinda,
like
so
a
I did
gyro.
that. It was, those
did it-
Kansas City
You
restaurants
did
do
Arthur
that slice.
Burns,
Yeah,
yeah.
and so I did my version of that years and years ago, and basically that's what it was. It was like a boneless
Yellow
butt.
Kitchen.
Was that the Yellow Kitchen Chronicle days? But it was the same way. You just don't cook it all the way done, and then they slice it and they serve it with just white loaf bread
And sauce.
and
Yeah.
sauce, and it's delicious. It's really good. We just never think to eat pork butt that way because
Yeah.
we've always taken it till it falls apart, and you're pulling it, and it's
Easy
hard to beat
peasy.
that.
Yeah.
Nothing saying you couldn't just do Greek pulled pork. I mean, you don't have to do the whole rotisserie thing.
So another sandwich that I saw that it was really good, they did a smoked crab roll. So it looked like a lobster roll in
Yeah.
all its glory with the butter and the,
Mm-hmm.
seasonings and everything. But it was big chunks of crab. Not like that shredded crab you get in the tub from the grocery store. It was almost like they smoked it.
Like all
shelled
like
it,
lump knuckle meat or something.
yeah. And it was chunks
Yeah.
of crab. How good do you think that sandwich
Probably
was?
pretty good. Do you think it was artificial crab or real crab?
Oh, I didn't even think about it being artificial crab.
Because you can buy
bet it
that
was.
artificial lump crab and it looks like bigger flakes of it. It's got that orange dye on or whatever.
That makes more
outside.
sense. I was like,
I mean, it's not
"Dang."
bad. I've ate it before.
Yeah, oh,
We used
yeah.
to eat it with cocktail sauce and lemon juice.
Yeah, it goes great on a salad.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking they smoked legs and
About crab legs and pulled out all that meat and made that. Maybe they did.
no, it
That would
makes
be a
that makes
gourmet
more
diggum
sense.
sandwich right there. Man, you could got me a lobster roll though. The butter. Oh.
It looked like
Was
that.
So
With the
we had
roll
that was
and
the first
everything?
time I ever had lobster rolls. We were in St. Louis. We talked about this on a previous podcast. We found a restaurant up there that had them, and they're not lobster rolls are not cheap. They're like, I mean, they want like $35 for a lobster roll, and it's on like a hot dog bun, but it's a really good hot dog bun. It's like a brioche split top. But they had two styles, and Tyler probably knows more about it being up from the Boston area. One of them's the mayo based style, and I guess is that the traditional lobster roll, Tyler?
The cold, I know that they just originate from two different areas. Like there's what they call the Connecticut roll.
Yes.
And then there's more like a Boston roll or something.
So
like
which
that.
one is the Connecticut roll? Is the meat and butter?
Yeah.
That's all it is, and that was my favorite.
And it was hot, right? It's
Yeah.
It's
Typically,
perfect.
typically hot. Yeah.
But yours was more like lobster salad.
yeah.
It's really, really good lobster meat, but they mix. I bet you they use blue plate mayo. I don't know. I think they do. But it always has, some herbs and stuff in
Yeah.
it and seasoned up. So it's more like a salad. And that was, but that one's not meant to get the melted butter, I wouldn't imagine.
I put melted butter on mine, and it
Can't
was
believe
delicious.
Can't go wrong
Yeah.
with melted butter, period.
But the one that's just like, all it is lobster meat on a brioche roll that you just douse in clarified butter.
Mhm.
That's the ticket.
I don't know which one was my favorite because we kind of split it and tried each other's.
Yeah.
They were both pretty good.
A few months back, y'all sent us like a care package that had a bunch of lobster roll stuff in it. And the tub that came with this, y'all, like I can't even, like it was like the biggest chunks of lobster meat. You could see the whole claws and everything like that. Like it was like
Really?
super good, but it came with the option to build it either way you wanted to. Like it came with some mayonnaise packets, the
What
super
brand?
bougie butter. I can't
Odds, I
remember.
bet.
It was Hellman.
It was a Hellman's? Oh.
She doesn't really like mayo though, so we went the butter route anyways.
Yeah.
It was like sea salt butter that was like
Oh god.
double clarified or something. Like
Yeah.
it sounded crazy, and it was amazing.
So what did you think? How many lobster rolls do you think you could make out of that?
I think it was 4. Like they said 4 enough for 4 buns.
It said 4, but I could have easily gotten 6, like easily.
Oh,
There
Did
was-
it have
that's
enough?
good.
Did it have enough buns to do 6?
No, it came with 4,
Oh.
but if we had the extra 2 buns,
Yeah.
but they just built theirs like huge, like piled them up on top. We have a picture somewhere, but yeah, those were super good.
I think it came from Goldbelly, Tyler.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's kind of my go-to when you have a baby is
Find something that somebody likes and send it to them.
Yeah,
So you ain't got to
Goldbelly.
cook. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like super easy to put together and stuff like that. It was
Yeah.
really good.
Did you have to cook anything? Like just toast the bread, probably.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we did it all in the Blackstone,
Oh,
just like
okay.
a little tabletop
Yeah.
griddle.
Yeah,
Oh,
Just
that's
heated
good.
it up, put some butter on it. Yeah, it was so. She said it was so good. I tried some of the lobster meat, but that was like right after I kind of had my little shrimp scare, so I didn't know
Oh,
if I'm
yeah.
allergic to shellfish or not.
Are
I
you?
didn't even take that into account when
Nah, it's fine. Like she loves it. She invited her sister over, and
Oh, did you not get to eat one?
I don't know. I think I'm allergic to shellfish, so I didn't
Yeah.
want to risk
Test
it.
that out. Don't bring shrimp in here. And put it on you.
Just give me an EpiPen and
terrible.
Yeah.
we'll try it.
give somebody a gift that might kill them. Sorry.
Nah, you're fine.
No, but it came from McClune's Lobster Shack, and I guess that's supposed to be a like,
Famous
famous,
one?
yeah, iconic lobster spot.
I don't know, but I want to take a vacation up to that part of the country
Let's
and just
go.
I'm so down.
have my way with some lobster. I want the bisque. I want the rolls. I want it steamed. I want it everywhere you can get.
Chowder, all the chowder.
Lobster corn
Yeah.
dog. I want all of it.
Lobster corn dog.
Have you
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, they deep fry them a little bit. It's almost like a funnel cake batter or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like an East Coast thing or not, or if somebody just took that and fair fooded it or whatever. It can't be bad.
One more sandwich
What?
that
Okay.
I thought was honorable mention. Double pork belly sandwich. They had a sliced pork belly,
Yeah.
pulled pork belly,
Yeah.
and then spicy pickles
Wow.
with some sauce on a bun.
I bet you that's so
I
good.
thought it looked really good.
I mean, a pulled pork belly sandwich, you can't. It's hard to beat that. You put another slice. I
Oh,
mean,
gosh.
this is like heart attack waiting to happen.
Yeah.
It's so rich and
Yes.
so. I mean, just
Succulent.
yes, all that stuff. So good. I know that's a good sandwich.
Oh, and there was a steak and mushroom with gorgonzola. It looked like a Philly steak,
Yeah.
thinly sliced ribeye, just like you buy for Philly cheesesteak.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a horseradish cream sauce,
Oh yes.
caramelized sweet onions, and sauteed mushrooms with a gorgonzola.
Gorgonzola. That's
cheese
like
sauce.
a blue cheese almost, right? Like a crumbly cheese, isn't it?
Is it?
I think.
I think it's just like a stinkier blue cheese.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I like it. I like blue cheese. That has to be really good.
It was like but it
Was it
wasn't
on like a French bread roll or like
Like a
a
Philly
hoagie roll?
roll.
A Philly roll?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it had the cheese. It was a cheese sauce. It wasn't just cheese. It was like
You know how hard that contest would be to judge if you had to judge it, like the best sandwich you could make? Like if somebody's cooking. I guess they do that at World Foods. They have a sandwich category.
yeah, they do.
That has to be so hard to judge.
What would be your ringer.
I mean, I don't know, because how are you going to put up lobster
and pork
versus a pork belly versus, ribeye steak sliced on a sandwich with cheese? I mean, it's just, that would be so tough.
Yeah.
It would all be good.
It'd probably come down to just personal preference.
It'd have
It
to,
would,
yeah.
And execution, you know.
Yeah.
If you just had all the time in the world to make the best sandwich for somebody, oh man.
What would be your go-to? You got to make me the best sandwich ever.
That'd be tough, man. Pork belly might have to be in there. I mean, it'd be so rich. I mean,
yeah.
I never made the lobster, and I just know how good it is. But I mean, I don't know how that would stack up to me versus pork belly versus the ribeye. Because a steak sandwich would be phenomenal too.
That's one of your go-tos.
Yeah.
You love a good
Sliced.
steak sandwich.
Good medium rare steak sliced in a sandwich with the caramelized onions and mushrooms with the sauce. That's so hard to beat. I don't know what the best thing, but a burger. You think about it, just put a burger in there.
There was a bunch of burgers, po' boys, some tacos.
Catfish po' boy, shrimp po' boy, oyster po' boy.
There was a fried oyster po' boy that looked.
Yeah.
There was an egg salad sandwich. Somebody posted
We're
an egg
going to do
salad
this podcast
sandwich.
after I eat lunch or something, because I'm going to stand here and going to tag out.
There was a bologna with coleslaw.
Now you're talking. That might be the old go-to. Bologna and cheese. They have cheese on it or just barbecue bologna?
It was bologna coleslaw bun, the thick smoked kind that you make. Yeah.
That's hard to beat.
So this weekend we really didn't do that much cooking.
No, we had shooting sports on Saturday. Michael had a tournament down in Como, and we cooked wings.
Wings on a Sunday afternoon. That's kind of our go-to.
That's it. Man, I'm going to tell you, if I have to, it had been a while since we'd had any. And
I
had to cook some wings, and it is so hard to beat a pellet grill wing. Now, when I say a pellet grill wing, I'm talking about a 400-degree pellet grill wing, and the wings cook for about an hour and 5 minutes. And they get
less than an hour Sunday.
Were they? We think it's because it's hot outside.
Maybe.
You cooked them. I didn't.
It was about 50 minutes.
But they were crispy. I mean, I was eating the little flapper that most people throw away. I was eating the little crunchy parts of it, and I just get amazed at how crispy those wings get. And you didn't put anything
I dried them really well.
That's the ticket on those pellet grill wings, is to get the moisture off the skin
as well as I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're never going to get completely dry, but if you give it some time to sit out on the counter or put them back on a rack in the refrigerator, they will dry out. And that makes that skin crispy.
I didn't have that kind of time. I just got some paper towels, rubbed them down as good as I could, probably twice, did 2 rounds of that. Yeah. Sprayed them with Pam or cooking spray. AP, I've never done this before, but I use that Frank's Buffalo seasoning.
Yeah, because we had it in the can.
Yeah, because we had it. And I put AP, Frank's Buffalo seasoning on the pellet grill, 400 degrees for 50 minutes. I flipped them halfway through.
Easiest wing you could ever cook.
Yeah.
Then you can toss them in whatever you want. Like we had just some bottled stuff like we got from Walmart Buffalo Wild Wings flavors. Yeah. And then, we
have 5 bottles of Buffalo Wild Wings sauce in our fridge.
Hell of a chicken wing junkie. And I like Buffalo Wild Wings. What can I say? They don't give it to me. They don't pay me for it. I buy it. So what kind's in there? We've got the mango habanero, which will light your butt up. We've got the Asian zing, which is one of my favorites. We've got the jerk. I love it. We've got the garlic parm. We've got
my favorite's the garlic buffalo or the buffalo garlic.
Yeah,
what is it
called? What they call it? Is it garlic buffalo? That's one of my favorites.
Spicy garlic or something?
Yeah, spicy. I think it's spicy garlic. That one, and I think we got a Korean barbecue when they had. I'm a sucker for them. If when I go to Buffalo Wild Wings, I'll always buy a bottle or 2 of the sauce from. They have a jam and jalapeno or something like that. I don't know.
That one's amazing.
I don't know if they have it all the time.
Spicy.
It's one of my favorites.
So good.
Yeah, I just didn't realize we had that many
buffalo pieces.
We have other wing sauces too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's just the Buffalo Wild Wings one we had in there. Started looking, I was like, we gotta clean this fridge out.
It's mainly condiments. Dude, I don't know if anybody else is like that. Tyler, do you end up with a refrigerator full of condiments?
Yes.
And it's pickles and relishes.
Yeah, that's it. You go in there and look, and there's probably some cheese. I don't know how old it is. And then there's all these half jars of pickles and pickled things and all condiments.
I would assume not as bad as y'all, though, because we cooked so many recipes. Like before we moved to the smokehouse, that you might only need like half a jar or something.
That's right. And that's what it is most times. So you go and cook something. You use if you making a recipe or following a recipe, you go buy this. Well, you may not cook that again for a while, and so you end up with a whole jar of something that you've used a little out of, and then you don't want to just throw it away because you paid $5-6 for it or whatever it cost. It ends up in the fridge or in the pantry.
Well, my problem is you make a recipe, you go buy a jar of hoisin sauce.
How often are you going to use hoisin sauce?
You use a quarter of the hoisin sauce in this recipe, and then 2 months later, when you would need hoisin sauce again, you go buy another jar.
Yeah.
So you got like multiple
pieces.
Yeah.
I do that. Like I'll have sriracha. I use my sriracha pretty good, but there's just I know exactly.
Yeah.
Like I've got fish sauce in there.
Yeah.
And then clam sauce, and then all these different sauces. I don't know when I'll use them again. You know, it's not like I'm using all that all the time.
It's like, especially for like exotic foods and stuff. Like my wife really wants to home make ramen, but to home make ramen, you need all these things, like you're saying, fish sauce and stuff like that. That's like, you end up spending like $100 in raw ingredients. It's like, is it really worth it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I think about that all the time too. What it takes to cook this recipe, that I need to make it 20 times to get my money's worth out of it.
It's about
because I could have just went and bought it. We could have went out to eat it cheaper than you could have made it at home.
That's one thing I like about the HelloFresh we do. We do 1 or 2 recipes a week with HelloFresh. And they
makes it easy.
Yeah, they send you can try different things, but they send you if you need hoisin sauce, they send you your 2 tablespoons of hoisin sauce.
I don't see how they come out doing that too.
I don't either.
Because the way I guess it's just the volume deal with them, but because they've got it precise down to what you get, and it's what you need to make that recipe. But it has to cost more, or to break that stuff down, or to buy it in those smaller stuff. I mean,
we know we've checked into
but they do have good stuff, and their recipes are good too. I mean, I like the little sauces and stuff they teach you how to make when you do those.
And it gives you ideas. You always get ideas from trying different things.
That's right. It lets me experience food that I probably would never on a regular weeknight have.
Yeah. So we are,
and we pay for that.
What'd you say?
They don't give it to us.
So we're currently planning for your fantasy football draft party this weekend.
Oh, this is the time of year I tell y'all I love. Football season is here. It always starts off.
Does he love all the seasons?
Yeah.
What are my 2 favorite, Tyler? What if you had to say what's my 2 favorite seasons?
I've lost at this point. I want to say Thanksgiving and football is like what I'm going to say.
No, those are holidays. Football's a season.
Yeah.
Hunting's a deer season.
All right.
So hunting season and football season. Those are my 2 seasons.
I was also going to say this is the time he's excited about fantasy. When we talk about this in like 6 months,
he's
not
gonna
going to be
hate it.
excited about fantasy.
The draft is the best part of fantasy football. It really is. This is when your hopes are up. I've done all these mock drafts. I do hate my mock drafts. It's like I get tired of looking at these same players. I want a different pick. I don't want my pick. But anyway.
Do you see a trend happening when you do these mock drafts? Like, I feel like why are you planning for something that's just not going to happen the way?
I don't know. I asked myself that after about 30 of them. I was like, I know. I can sit here and do a bazillion.
And it's not.
And it's never going to come out that way, because this is the way this computer's thinking these people are going to draft. When we get out here in the conference room and we've ate all this delicious food I'm going to make, and the whiskey gets to flowing, there's no telling what's going to happen. I'm not going to get the players, so I look at that mock draft as just what it does for me is whenever somebody makes a pick on a mock draft or something, I'm doing one that's offline. It's like a computer program that I pay for, but I guess it's offline. I don't know. They update everything, but anyway, I can go in and I can look at each player and why they selected it and what these experts say about it. And there'll be like 6 different experts giving their take.
Yeah.
And so I'll read that. And so over doing multiples of these,
so I
know a little bit about every player.
Yeah.
You
are picking up some information.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I'm liking try to play different scenarios. What happens if I take here, and they'll rate your team that you take. Mine always sucks. It's just a losing battle. I don't know why I waste my time and money on it. I love it. I do love it.
You're like, computer, this rookie is going to do crazy things. Calm down.
That's my hopes and dreams too, Tyler. I always pick the worst guys. Like we're in and these guys, I play in 2 different ones. Tyler's going to get one of ours this year, but I play with a group of guys that they're actually some of your buddies from Mississippi State that you knew since college.
Yeah.
And when we got started dating and getting married, I started playing fantasy football with them, and that's been years.
They've been playing in that league before.
Like 98, 99.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been probably playing since 05 or 04. So it's been a long time. I have won the league a couple times.
Once.
You sure not twice?
What year was that?
I don't know. I had
One?
the trophy for a year.
Oh,
I think I might have. Is it only once I've won it? I think I played in the finals games twice, maybe. I don't know. There's some of those guys that have never won it, so I feel like I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
We have like this one guy in our fantasy league that we always do a ring. So we'll put all of our money in, pull it all together, and we always buy a fantasy football ring. And he literally has 5, and I've played 5 years. So I'm like,
Wow, yeah, y'all just paying him. Huh?
yeah, we're just paying him to get.
He's a ringer. We don't have a ringer. Like, there's a couple guys that they're always going to do good, but there's no like one ringer in ours.
So how are you feeling about your party?
I'm feeling great about the party. I'm going to do setting up the nacho machine. I'm going to cook some pulled pork. I'm going to do some pizza dip. I'm going to do some original little sliders, the little ham biscuit sliders. I'm going to do some kind of cold dip. If you're going to make like a caramelized onion dip. We're going to have, what else are we having? Wings 2 ways. It's going to be good.
Do you have like you got to hit certain points to have a good party?
No.
I mean like you need a cold dip. You need a hot dip.
No, I just like choices.
Oh,
I don't have it. You might. I don't. The number one rule for me is cold beer.
Cold beer.
Like I need cold beverages and then some kind of food.
Whatever. If you went to a party and they just had cold beer, you'd be like,
where's the food?
They did a terrible job.
No, you might. I don't think that. You could peel out some, I don't know.
They had 3
cheese
cold
crackers,
dips and no hot dip.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going overboard with mine this year, but it's going to be good.
There has been some years you did go overboard.
Yeah, when I had a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like Michael's got another tournament this weekend. Hopefully somebody's going to take him to that. Coach Josh may come pick him up.
Do you have a salad planned?
Celery and carrots to dip in delicious ranch and blue cheese.
Technically, you're planning coleslaw, so.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to have coleslaw to go, because you got to, if we're going to have little pulled pork sandwiches, you got to have a coleslaw.
Coleslaw's a salad, right?
Yeah,
I think
of course.
so. It's greens with a dressing.
With the little blue plate dressing. No problem. So how are you going to make the slaw? You going to make the slaw for me or am I going to make it?
I can't tell you how I'm going to make the slaw.
It's just so easy. Take mayonnaise, a little vinegar, a little sugar, a little seasoning, throw a bag of slaw in the bag and mix it up and let it sit.
That's not how I was going to make this.
Well, you're going to buy like a prepackaged slaw dressing?
Yeah.
That's pretty good too.
I can't name the name.
Marzetti. Blue plate doesn't have a slaw dressing?
It starts with a D and ends with a
We may have to have a slaw contest. I'll make a blue plate slaw and you make a whatever slaw you want to make.
If Blue Plate had a slaw dressing, I bet it would be the best slaw dressing ever. They are the best mayonnaise on the planet. If you're choosing mayonnaise this weekend, make sure you choose Blue Plate. # spread the love.
Do you like the celery and carrots when you have wings with like ranch or blue cheese? Is that considered a vegetable or salad to you?
Definitely. When we say let's do wings, I'm like, I can get some good fiber in with my
celery with your ranch consumption. So, so my new thing is I'm a fan of blue cheese. So I like a blue cheese when I'm having wings, but also like the ranch too. So we kind of do the best of both worlds where you have a blue ranch. So how are you going to make that?
You make ranch with a ranch packet, which is a cup of sour cream, a cup of Blue Plate mayonnaise, and 1 ranch packet.
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Hidden Valley Ranch. Mix it up. And I always feel like it needs a little oomph. So I put a little bit of AP or prime beef, swine life prime beef in there.
In the dip?
Yeah.
Prime beef? I didn't know that.
Yeah, just a touch. It's got that umami. It's got that.
You don't know what it is when you taste it. It gives it a little heat.
You just want a little pump, a little pop, a little extra punch. And then you split that in half. So then you take half of that, and that is 1 cup of ranch. And then you take the other half, and you got another cup of ranch, and you add blue cheese crumbles to it. Let it hang out in the fridge. Stir it up really good. It's got to hang out in the fridge or else it's not going to really work. It's got to hang out in the fridge and you got to stir it up really good before you serve it. And then you got blue cheese ranch.
So you made me one that was, I guess it was it, I don't know if it's low fat, but it's definitely lower calorie.
Yeah.
And using
yogurt and cottage cheese.
Yogurt and cottage, but you blended the cottage cheese till it was smooth, right?
Yeah.
It was good. I liked it. I mean, it was different. It's not like blue plate and sour cream, but it was good. I liked it. It went with the wing. That's what we had Sunday with our carrots and celery and wings.
It worked.
I gotta have the dips though. I love the dips.
Me too. What makes it for me?
Yep.
What, the wings or the party?
All of it, but like the dip specifically. Like I'm a dip guy.
Me
I
too.
just love dip.
Me too. We need to have another dip contest around here.
That would be a good one. Pulled pork dip. I got y'all.
If you were like, come over for dinner, we're just gonna have a bunch of dips. I'm like, I'm there.
We did that one night. Was it this weekend after Michael shoots? That's what we had Saturday. It was just dips.
we did
made
like a guacamole and
it was like
a salsa.
We had a 7-layer dip. We had salsa. We had guac, and then we had nacho cheese sauce because we made our own. Just like build your own nachos. That's what we had for dinner that night.
Sounds amazing.
Everybody was.
It really was good. Like you just make a plate of nachos and then you got all these dips to eat with it. And I'm a 7-layer bean dip man too.
Yeah.
I can't get you on board with
I
me
mean,
on
they're
the 7-layer
okay.
dip. It's got everything. It's got the cream cheese, or not cream cheese.
It's got bland cream cheese or bland sour cream.
No, but see so this is what I do to make mine better.
Bland refried beans.
I jazz them up. I do buy a can of refried beans, but I put a little enchilada sauce in there and some gringo and some cheese, and I get that good and hot, and that's a layer. And then I take the sour cream and I mix it with room temperature cream cheese, and I get that because you want it to stand up. You don't want it to just.
Yeah.
I hate it when the 7-layer dips just all mush, everything through it. And then you do put the guac layer, but then I do, usually a layer of regular shredded cheese and then a pico layer, and it's just some black olives on top.
Yours is really good when you take the time to like homemade yours, but
It's so good.
we usually just buy
The tub,
the tub.
7-layer
like
dip tub.
a bland layer on top of a bland
It's
layer.
like, because they're using like the Fritos bean dip in a can, and it is watery sour cream, and it all just comes into this one color like puke orange. Everything turns puke orange in it. It does. I'm not making this up. This is a fact.
So
Maybe that's how your mama served it to you. I don't know.
I do love a good guac though. So there was a new study released, the best barbecue cities in America.
Oh.
This wasn't based on votes. It was based on data.
What kind of data?
They took a bunch of data from Yelp, Google, the U.S. Census. They took into consideration the Google Trends for that area, like just a whole bunch of information, and even how much money people make in each area to see.
What does that determine? If they can afford barbecue or not, or are they trying to say barbecue's a poor people food?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Well, how much it's going to cost based on that
Oh, okay.
per capita.
Yeah. Memphis better been on the list.
Okay.
What number were they?
So Austin was number 1. You can kind of see that. They have 4.68 barbecue restaurants per 100,000 people. They have a 4.22 average Yelp rating. The average cost per pound of meats is $5.29. Things like that. They take that into consideration. Memphis was number 2.
Oh, okay. Now we're talking.
Yeah. They have 3.37 barbecue restaurants per 100,000 people.
Yeah.
Average cost per pound is about the same.
Is that just Memphis Metro, or is that the whole Memphis little area, or tri-state area?
San Antonio is number 3.
Disagree with that.
Birmingham, Alabama is number 4.
Disagree with that.
They have 4.4 barbecue restaurants per 100,000 people, and I didn't realize that.
How much?
4.04.
In Birmingham?
That's
really?
what I said.
That sounds a little.
I didn't realize they had so many. They do have Dreamland.
Yeah, but that's not the original one, though, right? Or is it? No, I don't think so.
5's Las Vegas.
What? Come on, man.
6 is Nashville.
I'm not buying that either.
Oh, get this. So Vegas has 5.89 barbecue restaurants per 100,000 people. There's a lot of
you
people
don't count
in Vegas.
Guy Fieri's barbecue restaurant. And
I'm sure they do.
all this stuff.
So Nashville 6, Houston 7.
Now, Houston should be in there.
Oklahoma's 8.
I'll give Oklahoma a barbecue
Oklahoma City.
Really?
Jacksonville, Florida's 9.
Nope.
Raleigh, North Carolina's 10.
We'll go North Carolina, yeah.
And just for honorable mention, St. Louis is 11 and New Orleans is 12.
New Orleans is not a barbecue town. Not that there's not good barbecue in New Orleans or these other towns. I'm just saying from my voting. They didn't even have Kansas. I didn't hear you say Kansas City now. Come on.
I know.
This is, if Kansas City didn't make it, it is not legit.
Kansas City's 14.
14. I'm not buying it.
Behind Buffalo, New York.
What?
That's crazy.
That's crazy. I'm not buying their demographics. It's rigged, and that's a bad study.
The big ones that jump out to me is Richmond, Virginia's 19, Louisville, Kentucky's 21, which I consider them,
Barbecue towns,
regions.
Kinda. Yeah.
Baltimore, Maryland's 23. They have their own style barbecue. And Portland, Oregon's 26.
What?
I know.
Yeah, come on, man.
Even beyond
Come
me.
on, man. I feel like Randy Moss on there.
The Riverside, California is the worst city for barbecue. Prices are high, and there's less than a barbecue restaurant per 100,000 people.
So there's one there. They have one barbecue restaurant.
Where's Riverside? Is it LA proper, Tyler, or do you know?
I'm honest. I think so. I'm not 100% sure on that, though. I know that I've never had good barbecue in California, with the exception of AB's restaurant that's out there.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever had good barbecue out there. Other than that, it's usually just kind of like a side option on a menu that has way too much on it,
I got you. There wasn't enough. I mean, that's tough. Like Dallas didn't make it.
Dallas was on there.
Lockhart didn't make it just because they didn't have enough people. I mean, that would be if that has to be probably to me in Texas. That's where I think of barbecue is Lockhart.
Yeah.
When I think of the town in Texas that has the barbecue, what's the barbecue town? Yeah, the iconic barbecue. Not that there's not other towns that doesn't have great barbecue.
Austin's really come on in the barbecue scene.
Yeah.
It is a pretty big barbecue scene there. So Texas is the best state for barbecue. California is the worst state, with Riverside,
There's no way California's the worst, though. I don't believe that at all.
By this data.
Just tri-tips alone. You consider that barbecue? I consider that barbecue.
Yeah, definitely.
You're right. I didn't think about that.
But
worst state for barbecue, I don't know. I'd probably guess like Maine or somewhere.
Yeah.
Portland, Oregon. That would be my guess. I don't know what goes on there, but
all of my uncles, like
Rhode Island, probably does not have good barbecue. I'm not saying that there's not some. It's just typically that's not where you expect to get your good barbecue.
They're just like super behind. Like everybody up there has gas grill. I'm not saying now if you're listening, I am a fellow Yankee, okay? But I'm just saying
from Boston.
From my own experience, talking to my uncles, aunts, and all that about owning different kinds of smokers and stuff like that, they had never even heard of a pellet grill.
Really?
Which is crazy because I feel like they've taken over the market in such a crazy way that I don't know how they couldn't have heard of it. And they're just now starting to kind of catch on to that and stuff. So I don't know. I didn't really grow up. And when we barbecued, it was hamburgers and hot dogs growing up. Like,
that was barbecuing?
Yeah. Or like we would do lobster or something like that. And everybody was just kind of, it wasn't really grilling. You weren't really barbecuing.
Yeah.
Cookie crumbled a little different for me.
Crumbled a little different.
No lobster at my house.
Yeah. No.
We did have
occasional crawfish.
We did have smoked oysters in a can though. So.
When the casinos came, we got crab leg buffet.
Yeah.
We were uptown then. That was like early 90s. Casinos came. That's when the people in North Mississippi or Memphis area really got introduced to crab legs.
I was going to say, hey, did you eat crab legs before then?
No, I didn't know what crab legs were. I'm sure I did, but I never got them. We had like a Red Lobster.
Yeah.
So you could see the lobster tanks. Our grocery stores used to have lobster tanks and stuff in them, but we didn't buy any of that growing up. I don't know who they sold them to, really, honestly. You don't see them anymore. They don't have them. Like, you don't go to Kroger now or Walmart and they have a lobster tank anymore.
I wonder, how they kept those lobsters alive in that tank.
I don't know.
Or did they have that?
We bought them before. Like, we bought some and tried to smoke them before. Oh, it was a disaster. I don't know. We'd been, early days of Killer Hogs. So we're going to cook steak and lobster. So we went to Kroger and they give you these Happy Meal boxes. There's And
you were like, give me that one on the left?
Yeah, you pick out these lobsters out of this tank. So we're, sticking our arms down in there. We'll get them out. No, you can't put your arm in there. We got 5 or 6 of these lobsters, take them back home, let them go in the kitchen. They're crawling. We're trying to fight them. We cut the bands off of them so they can rear up like giant crawfish. And you cannot just put lobsters. I tried to dispatch them, with the knife.
Yeah.
Put them on the smoker, and they were not. We just had the old side, this was early days. I didn't even have a good smoker. It was like one of the barrels with the little side turn sideways, a little side firebox that they sell outside of grocery stores.
Yeah.
That's what we had. I don't even remember what brand. I don't even know if it had a brand on it. But we were gonna smoke some lobsters and eat these whole lobsters, and it was a disaster. They didn't get cooked, and it was just we wasted. I don't know how much money on. Probably back then they were probably $20-something a piece, which was expensive to us.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a night
Now,
out.
the ribeye steaks were good, but lobsters weren't worth a darn.
So I've somehow saw something about defroster plates. Have you ever heard of these?
That was a whole infomercial thing
Yes.
years and years ago. What do they call it? It came with some knife they were peddling, like the ninja knife or something, and it came with a defroster to defrost steaks.
Yeah. So Grill Grate has one, actually. It's a Grill Grate defroster plate. Yeah. And I saw someone else advertising them or talking about using them. So I was like, what the heck's a defroster plate?
Oh, you don't remember it as a kid? Or is it before your time?
I mean, kind of, but I thought it was a gimmick.
Yeah. Oh, they were. I ain't saying they don't work, but it's like, so.
What does it look like?
It's a flat piece of some kind of metal. I don't know what it is that they use. And that's basically it. And when you lay something like frozen meat on it, I guess the energy or whatever pulls, it's some kind of thermodynamic relationship. I don't know the science behind it, but it transfers the cold from whatever's sitting on it into that plate and then into whatever that plate's sitting on. So that does speed up the thawing somewhat. My mom got one. I tested it.
Did it work?
Somewhat, yeah. I mean, we never put like a steak beside on the counter and then on that.
Yeah, to see if it would.
It starts pulling out the moisture out of it and thawing it out on the outside surface pretty quick.
Well, I researched it.
Okay, so let's hear what the findings are.
So
total sham or not?
Well, the claim is that it allows you to thaw food faster.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you said, it's a flat, thin piece of metal, but it has to be something that's an excellent heat conductor, like aluminum or copper. Typically, it's aluminum.
Yeah,
which is probably why Grill Grate has
Yeah, Grill Grate's made out of it.
And even the USDA has it marked as a safe method for thawing food.
Really?
Yeah, but that doesn't. They approve all kinds.
We might need to do that in a podcast next week. Bring in one of those.
Ooh,
put a frozen steak on it. Sit here, do the podcast.
See what happens first.
See which one's more thawed.
Okay, so through the laws of thermodynamics, if you put two objects that are different temperatures up next to each other, just the way that physics works, they're going to try to equal each other out. The hot one's going to get colder, the colder one's going to get hotter.
Well, it reaches a equilibrium or whatever.
Yeah, so they're trying to reach that equilibrium. So if you place a cold steak on a hot pan, the steak will heat up and the pan will cool down. But when you have that defroster plate that's made of that highly conductive metal, it can basically pull in the room temperature air and stabilize itself better. So it's constantly just thawing.
Oh, I got you. So
Thawing
it's
that meat
working
better.
because it's heating itself up, not just trying to stable out.
Yes.
And
it's
the
pulling
meat,
that-
whatever's froze, continues to thaw
Continues
out
to
because
thaw.
it's dissipating the
Yeah.
coldness off of it and staying warm.
So if you put a piece of ice on there, it's going to melt that ice cube really well.
That was what they did in infomercial.
Well,
They'd lay a piece of ice on there and you'd watch
because
it
the
just
water,
go to melt.
yeah, because the
I just
water
figured they heated it up, had a little iron or something. Put a little
got
heat
that
to it,
thing
it'll
real
melt.
hot,
Yeah.
and then
Set it on there.
But the deal is the ice is constantly melting, so you're constantly touching a fresh piece of the ice to melt.
Yeah.
And meat is not a good conductor of it's just not a good conductor of hot or cold.
Mhm.
So you can easily thaw the outside of a steak, but the inside of the steak, it's going to take longer.
Okay.
It's not getting that.
That's what I
contact.
figured, that whatever was touching it would
Yes.
thaw out pretty quick, but it's still going to be solid. So if you got thin steaks, it'd probably work really good.
Yeah, exactly.
But a big, thick tomahawk or something, it's not going to, I mean, the outside will get thawed.
The outside will get thawed. Meat's a bad conductor of heat, so
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, and you're not melting it off
Very
like you do ice.
interesting, I guess. I mean, so is this a must-have gadget, or do you just?
I guess that's up to you.
It's up to the size of the steaks you're cooking.
Yeah.
If you're trying to speed thaw 'em. I don't like to. I mean, I just like to let them sit in the refrigerator and.
I don't know, man. I just needed something for shelf
Yeah,
learning.
that's you taught me some science. I was on the right track with the
You
thermodynamics.
are.
Though.
You usually are.
Yeah. I remember a little bit of science class, not much.
So I got a bunch of questions from the community.
We got 10 minutes.
All right. Then how about this one? I thought this one was really good. They said that they wanted to bring this up to like, it might be a hot take.
Ooh.
So what's your hot take? What's an extra step that a lot of people do when cooking barbecue that doesn't make a difference in their final product? An example, they think that binders.
That's the first one that came to my mind. Yellow mustard on something. It doesn't make a lick of difference. It's non-negligible. You couldn't really notice it.
Yeah.
Now, does it let me see? I will argue that when I put a little mustard on something, I can tell where the mustard is and tell if I didn't get a good coating of seasoning.
Yeah.
So I know to come back and put some more seasoning. But is it really gluing the seasoning to something or changing the flavor of it? No.
Especially if you let the meat marinate with not marinate, but
that's right.
Sit out with the rub on top and let it macerate in its own
in its own juices. Another one, coming up to room temperature.
Oh, really? You don't think that matters?
Not a whole lot.
Even in steaks?
Not a whole lot at all.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think so. So everybody says you see it. I mean, it's been tested. I think you're just as good.
Even with a big cut like a brisket? Let's say you got a 20-pound brisket?
Nope. I go straight out of the cooler and straight on the grill. I mean, we say, sit out there and come to room temperature.
Yeah.
How much? So, like, when you say something's coming to room temperature, it would take it hours to get up to room temperature.
It would.
So you're never putting on. So how often are you putting on a steak that's already, say, well, if it's out here, it's 100 degrees a day.
Yeah.
But if it's room temperature 70 degrees, which is just say most people's houses are probably, 72 or whatever. To come up to that from a refrigerated temperature, that's a big swing. And you're going to put the whatever meat it is. Once it gets over 40, it's staying in the danger zone. And I know you're going to cook it, but you're still leaving a place for bacteria to grow, maybe getting somebody sick. I don't want to taste that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not letting something come up that much. I think that's something that's overrated.
Anything else?
Resting, not overrated. And some people say it is. Oh, you don't have to rest your meat. It's not doing anything to make it juicier. I beg to differ. I let the big, especially big meats, it makes all the difference in the world.
We've been doing chickens lately, like
let a whole chicken rest for 20, 30 minutes before you pull it.
Yeah.
Much juicier.
It makes the biggest difference.
Huge difference. Doing your turkeys like that at Thanksgiving, letting them rest, makes them so much juicier. Well, I mean, if you think about that, it makes sense because as any kind of meat you're cooking is getting close to done, what it's doing is pushing whatever internal moisture is in that meat, in those muscle fibers, to the outside. That's how it gets out. And so it's drying it out basically from the inside out because you're pushing the moisture out depending on how done you're getting something. Mm-hmm. All the moisture is going out towards the surface to actually get away from it to get it done. Well, when you stop and you cut it immediately, it's not going to be as juicy. You're going to lose a lot of that. But if you stop and let it calm down and let that moisture slowly go back into the meat and get to like a relaxed state, it's trying to do the same thing. It's going from areas of hot and cold, same way it's talking about thawing out. Yeah. It's doing. It's trying to establish, it's trying to equalize itself. That's what makes it juicier, and that's why the rest works. That's my take on it.
I mean, I agree. I've seen it firsthand. I can tell a huge difference when we let something rest and when we don't.
Now, thinner cuts of meat, I don't know if you see it as much. Like, I'm grilling a skirt steak or something, I'm going to slice up real thin. All that juice gets on the board anyway, and I move those slices around in, and it stays juicy anyway. But like a big, nice, thick ribeye, you cut into that dude, and it does get drier if you don't let it rest a few minutes.
When we cook pork butts for an event, and we
pull them immediately.
Well, when we pull them off and wrap them up and put them in a cooler,
yeah,
like, take them to a lunch that we're catering or something and pull them on site. If they've been sitting in that cooler for an hour, 2 hours, just getting happy, resting, they are the best pork butts.
Yeah.
You
think you did something special to it. Like, no, really, I didn't. Seasoned them, let them on, forgot about them, put them in a cooler, let them sit, and then pulled them later. But if you'd have pulled it when it got right off that grill and brought it back, you'd be like, it's kind of dry. I need to add something to it. Maybe we need some more sauce, or we should have kept some of those juices in that pan. Or, I mean, I've said that before. And
I'm not a big fan of using the pork juice in the pan. Beef juice, heck yeah, delicious.
Sometimes you got to get the fat off of it.
Yeah, it's the fat.
I mean, it's like putting that tallow all over something. It's just going to give it, when it cools down, that's going to give you a waxy mouthfeel. And
It's a wangy
when it's
flavor.
hot, it's juicy and delicious and has some flavor. But when it's cool, it's different.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to get a spoon of beef tallow room temp, you know. Be nasty.
Yeah.
Bad visual.
It's got a It's got a bad
Full
look.
load of beef tallow room
It's
temp.
got a bad look. It's got a bad.
Mayonnaise? Heck yeah.
No, I ain't doing that either.
Beef tallow? No.
Real quick, one more thing. Somebody said not trying to call anyone out, but they were a little surprised that on the podcast last week you and Mark wouldn't talk about the full boat method for a brisket.
What is the full boat method for brisket?
Full, like you make a boat,
Yeah.
like you do for ribs.
What is it?
I guess they're making boats for brisket.
I hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't got a problem with it. I don't know anything about that method, honestly. I know about wrapping them up or putting them in a pan or wrapping them in butcher paper.
Yeah.
But I've never boated a brisket.
They make shallow pans,
Yeah.
and you'll use those a lot.
Do you
which-
cook it in it? Do you know? Did you look that up to see what the full boat? You got a second? Or you want?
No, there's some other YouTubers that do it.
Oh, I imagine it's for a bark thing or something.
Yeah, and it kind of helps as a shield. You capture some juices.
Yeah. Okay.
You know.
Best of both worlds. You got you got a vessel to capture some of that au jus or whatever, the renderings, and then you let the air flow over the top of it so you get your bark on top. I can see it.
And you're shielding it from the bottom,
Yeah.
just in case, you know.
My experience with that is it'll build up way more, drippings and stuff, and then it's harder to deal with if you got it in something where you're going to end up losing it anyway.
It's gonna be flimsy.
Yeah, it's
That's
gonna
what
be
I'm
flimsy.
thinking.
I think a shallow pan would probably work better.
Yeah.
I need to look at that. I don't know. I really honestly don't know anything about a full boat method for brisket.
There's your homework.
The only full boats I use is like for ribs. I'll make a little boat out of the rib wrap and then use it to move them around to glaze it.
Oh, you've been doing that forever.
That's how we learned.
Really, that's how you learned? That's how you've always done it?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of when we were doing competition barbecue. That's how you did it. We didn't and then we bought a big pizza peel like to move them around, but it was still easier with the boats, and it was cleaner. Like, it was easier to clean your table up. It was easier to keep your grill clean instead of getting all that sauce down in the bottom of your grill, having it on that boat.
So now you have some research.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check out what
And then
I'm sure there's YouTube videos on it. I'll go look after I get through doing about 21 mock drafts. My evening's kind of booked.
It's been a lot of football on. A lot of football on at the house.
Yeah, and the bad thing, the fantasy football show I watch doesn't start doing the hour broadcast every day till next Monday after my draft. So
I think you're getting enough.
I'm getting enough research. It all starts sounding the same when you listen to these one people and they'll talk about this guy, and these people talk about Donald, take that guy, take this guy. Who knows?
Make Michael show you the characters like in Madden, so you can see it like they're.
Hey, we
did that.
I played the new Madden last Friday. Michael beat me in overtime my first game, but
how much has it changed since the last time you played it?
A lot. Like I had to put my controls on classic, like because he went through and like did all the new touch pass and directional stuff. Have you played it yet, Tyler?
No, I haven't played the new one.
So it's got a whole different passing system, and I was kind of loosely watching what he was doing. When I said, "Come on, I'll play you. I know I can beat you. You're not that good." So he's not. Like, he might. I don't know how much time he spent. I mean, he spends a lot of time playing, way more than he should playing video games. So I still got it.
You used to spend way more time than you should play video games too.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm hooked. I'm ready to get it downloaded again at the house. I got it at camp. That's the TV we put it on, so I don't move my PlayStations around.
They have a Madden tournament up here sometime.
Yes, no, it's fun. It really is fun.
I played.
Did you play?
Yeah,
How did you do?
I lost.
Yeah, I figured it had more than 2 buttons. You're kind of screwed. You do all right if it just had the A and B and
Heck
up,
yeah.
down, left, right.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah, no.
My problem was, okay, so, I'm the quarterback. I get the ball, and I want to pass it to triangle. I have to look down in my
See where
see my
triangle is and where he at. Is he
And
up?
by the time that happens,
Yeah, oh, you're
Sacked.
yeah.
But no, it's fun. It's really fun.
Well, Malc, that's all I have for you. We got a big fantasy football draft party to plan for.
That's right.
We got some
It's the
filming to
fantasy
do.
football weekend. A lot of leagues are drafting this weekend. So good luck to everybody out there. Let us know who you took, who's going to be your ringers.
You're cooking a bunch of football recipes tomorrow.
Yep. We'll be releasing some more of that stuff coming out shorts. We got a YouTube video coming out next week. With it's actually that steak sandwich we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be really good. It was really good. But Tyler, tell them everything they need to know about us.
Hey guys, so just from the very beginning, make sure you guys head on over to the Let's Get to Cooking community over on Facebook. It's facebook.com/groups/H2Q community. And you, first of all, you might have your question featured on the show, like Shell always asks at the end of every episode. And then also you can just share recipes, take part in that giveaway, and share lots of awesome ideas with like-minded people. And if you want to check out Malcolm's favorite recipes, head on over to HowToBBQRight.com. And that's all.
That's it. All right. Well, y'all know y'all can subscribe to the channel here to listen to the podcast. You can also find us on all the podcast, anywhere you get a podcast.
We're there.
We're there. Look for us at H2. What is it? HowToBBQRight on all social channels. Y'all know the drill. Shell, you got anything to add?
We gone.
We gone. We'll see y'all next week. Y'all have a good weekend.